All right, guys, I'm sitting here with Frank Leanza. He is your elementary team Nauman, outstanding wrestler, this year's Tyrant Duals. He's undefeated, 8-0 this weekend. Tell us a little bit about some of your matches or the competition, Frank.
Almost all of my matches, none of them went the distance. Almost all of my matches never went the distance. I either tech fault or pinned everyone before the matches ended.
That's great. Was there anybody that you've wrestled before, or were this all new guys?
I think everybody was new.
Okay, well that's good to see different people. So you tech fault and pinned your way through the tournament. That's phenomenal. We're not talking about just any wrestler, Frank, here. You are a Keystone state champion in the state of Pennsylvania. You're a multiple-time place finisher in states. You placed third at Super 32. I mean, that's awesome. You're in 6th grade. You've been wrestling for 8 years. Tell us a little bit about wrestling. How did you get involved with wrestling?
Well, it started when I was like 4 years old. I was just trying out new sports. And then, so my dad took me to this place down in Florida where I used to live, and with a coach named Mike Joyce. And I started there and slowly worked my way up. And about 3 years later, I moved to Pennsylvania and started working with a bunch of different coaches.
What's the difference between Florida and Pennsylvania wrestling from your perspective? I know you were younger at the time, but what do you think?
I think it's much easier to place in Florida than it is in Pennsylvania, since when I was just little, I wasn't necessarily too good, but I was decent, and I got first a couple times in Florida.
So you're a Florida state champ as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida's, they're getting better and better really quick. They're growing down there. You got schools like Lake Highland Prep. You got your state organization, some club teams. You got the Florida Scorpions down there now. So I know that's been a few years, but they're doing really well and growing their state. What are, I know you work out at multiple clubs. You're not just at one club. You wrestle for Team Nauman this weekend. What are some of your goals in wrestling right now, whether it's throughout middle school or even going into high school?
Well, I hope to go undefeated, hopefully to get first at PJWs or Keystones and go get first at Super 32.
Have you thought about college yet? What's your favorite college team, or do you have a couple that you like to follow?
I mean, when I get to college, I'd like to go to like Harvard or Princeton.
Harvard or Princeton, so you're not just thinking about wrestling, you're thinking about academics as well. Do you have any idea what you might want to do for a living when you're out of college yet?
Well, I might try to go to medical school at maybe like John Hopkins.
Are you thinking about being a doctor?
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of doctor you'd want to be?
Either a cardiologist or a neurosurgeon.
So you're only in 6th grade. How old are you, Frank?
12.
How do you know this already? Are your parents or anybody you know a doctor? Like, what makes you think that you want to go to an Ivy League school, you want to go to med school, and you're thinking about being a doctor? How are you already thinking about those things?
Well, actually, when I was in Florida, I was wrestling with this group of kids who was like 4 or 5 years older than me. Almost all those kids, one's in Princeton, one's in Virginia Tech, one's in Columbia, and one's in Harvard. So I'm trying to kind of follow in their footsteps and be the best I can be.
Well, I got to tell you, your off-the-mat goals are just as impressive as your on-the-mat results. Frank, congratulations. Thanks for coming to our tournament, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Great job.